The hour convening having arrived, all members will please come to the floor and take their seats. Mr. Clerk, will you ring the bell? All members, please come to the floor. We're going to have the morning roll call. All members present in the chamber will please vote green to signify your presence in this chamber, and Mr. Clerk will unlock the machines. Have all members voted? Have all members voted? If so, Mr. Clerk will lock the machine. Doorkeepers, please close the doors and keep them closed. As is our custom, we will begin our day with scripture reading and prayer by our chaplain, after which we will pledge allegiance to the flag of our country. Our chaplain this morning is brought to us by the gentleman from the 15th House District, Representative Matthew Gamble. Going to bring his friend and his lovely wife to bring our devotion today, and we appreciate them being here with us. Representative Gamble, you're recognized to introduce our chaplain.
Well, thank you, Mr. Speaker. Good morning, members. It's good to be with you today, and I have the honor to introduce our chaplain today, Dr. Kyle Walker. He is the senior pastor of Cartersville First Baptist Church, and we're honored to have his wife, Lauren, with us today. Lauren, please just stand up so we can see you. They are the proud parents of Taylor, Libby, and Clay. And I have been able to watch Kyle work in our community since he took Cartersville First Baptist Church several years ago, and it has truly been a blessing. It's the church where my brother goes to church at, and Kyle and I have had many opportunities to work together and talk about issues that have affected our community, sometimes some really tough issues that we've needed to work together on, and I can honestly say that he's been a great friend and an ally and somebody that I can call on and seek advice, and not only that, just a brother in Christ, but he's a wonderful guy. We're in Rotary together, Bartow County Rotary, and if you ask our Rotary officers, they would tell you that they've probably put out a be on the lookout for us because we hadn't been there in a while. But would y'all please welcome Dr. Kyle Walker to share the word with us this morning.
Well, good morning, Mr. Speaker, members of the House, Representative Gamble, and guests. What a privilege it is to be here with you this morning, and an honor to have my bride, Lauren, with me. What is the world's greatest problem? Genesis chapter 15 and verse 6 may not seem like a solution to the answer of that problem, but it says this: and he, Abram, believed the Lord, and he, that is God, counted it to him as righteousness. This verse of Scripture stands as a North Star in the Bible. It rises as an Everest among the Scriptures. It even plunges the deepest depths of the meaning of the Word of God. Why is that? Because it speaks the message of Scripture in a sentence. It hits at the very heart of salvation. It answers the question of all questions. How is it that a human being can be made right with God? Again, I ask, what is the world's greatest problem? The answer is not being in a right relationship with God. In a word, that's called lostness. Perhaps John Newton so eloquently wrote it best in 1779 when he said, "I once was lost, but now I'm found." Thus, the question of all questions is, how could an unrighteous, sinful human being ever be made right with God? But let's be honest, that question is often so lost on us, is it not? That question is dismissed as irrelevant, as an ancient relic of religion, irrelevant for modern man. And yet, if I could just be honest with you this morning, I've always found the belief that human beings are good and not sinful before a holy God to be overwhelmingly lacking in objective evidence. Could we be honest and say if you were to enter most homes, even in our own country, you would find brokenness somewhere? If you were to enter our schools, you'll find security there to prevent the greatest of tragedies. If you were to inspect our institutions, would you not find any level of corruption somewhere, even in the faith community? If you were to look around the globe at large, do you find justice and righteousness reigning? Who are we fooling? Certainly not God, none but ourselves, that we would think ourselves natively and naturally righteous before God. No wonder Woody Allen said the following when he was asked, "Woody, if there was a God, what would you want him to say to you?" To which Mr. Allen responded, "I would want him to say to me, 'You are forgiven.'" The Bible says a right relationship with God comes by faith in God's Son, Jesus Christ, who is the way, the truth, and the life. What has Jesus done for you and for me? Number one, Jesus died for our sin in our place. Jesus lived a sinless life in our place, and Jesus rose victorious over the grave in our place. Friends, the Bible does not say all who live a good life will be saved. The Bible does not say all who contribute to the good of society will be saved. Friends, what the Bible says is all who call on the name of the Lord will be saved. The Bible says if you confess with your mouth that Jesus is Lord, and believe in your heart that God raised him from the dead, you will be saved. You will be made right with God. You will be counted righteous. You will have gone from lost to found. My greatest prayer for each of you as leaders of our great state of Georgia and our great nation is that you would know, beyond anything else that you know, that you've been found. Would you rise and join me in prayer this morning? First Timothy chapter 2, verse 1 through 6 reads, "First of all, then, I urge that supplications, prayers, and intercessions and thanksgiving be made for all people, for kings and all who are in high positions, that we may lead a peaceful and quiet life, godly and dignified in every way. This is good, and it is pleasing in the sight of God our Savior, who desires all people to be saved and come to the knowledge of the truth. For there is one God, and there is one mediator between God and men, the man Christ Jesus, who gave himself as a ransom for all." Heavenly Father, in the name of Jesus, I want to pray for these men and women gathered here today who serve our great state and our nation. I pray that each one would truly stand in a right relationship with you by faith in your Son, Jesus. I pray that for any that have never been found by faith in him, that they'd be found even today by your grace. Father, I want to ask that you give them wisdom to lead and make decisions that would honor and bless and protect the people of Georgia. I ask that you would provide them with your protection, your strength. You would uphold them. And Father, that as they work to serve, that you would guide and support and strengthen and lead them. God, I want to pray for their marriages. I pray for their spouses. I pray for their children and grandchildren. I pray their marriages would prosper. I pray their children and grandchildren would prosper. I pray that you would bless them as fathers and mothers and grandparents. And as they serve the public, God, would you even cause their personal lives to be overwhelmed with your grace? Lead them as they lead Georgia. Bless them as they seek to bless Georgia. And Father, I pray for your will to be done in Georgia and even in this session today as it is in heaven. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. Do you now join me for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Awesome. Thank you, sir. Don't go anywhere. We're going to take a photo. Doorkeepers, you may unlock the doors. Members, you may join Brother Kyle and Lauren in the South Ante room and thank them for being here with us today. We do appreciate it. And thanks for that message as well. Members, our doctor of the day is brought to us by Representative Tangi Herring, and that's Dr. Keisha Kalins. Dr. Kalins, thank you for being here. Thank you for serving this house. Members, if you need Dr. Kalins, you know where she is. I hope you don't need her. Now recognize the chairman of the Committee on Information and Audits, Chairman Hilton. You're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Your Committee on Information and Audits has read the journal of the previous legislative day and found it to be correct. And if I may, Mr. Speaker, my daughter has her first middle school lacrosse game this weekend. Let's go Lady Wolves. Wesleyan Lady Wolves. Lacrosse. Wolves.
Lady Wolves, I'm sorry. Good luck. I bet she'll do great. Chairman Hilton, the chairman of the Committee on Information and Audits, reports that the journal of the previous legislative day has been read and found to be correct. Is there objection to dispense with the reading of the journal? Hearing none, the reading of the journal is dispensed with. Is there any objection to the confirmation of the journal? Hearing none, the journal is confirmed. Mr. Clerk, will you read the resolution establishing the order of business for the day?
Representative Administration of the 104th Moose Valley establishes the order of business during the first part of the period. Unanimous consents. Introduction of bills and resolutions. First reading and reference of House bills and resolutions. Second reading of bills and resolutions. Reports of standing committees. Third reading and passage of uncontested local bills and resolutions. Morning orders.
Is there any objection to adoption of the resolution establishing the order of business for the day? Hearing none, the resolution is adopted. First reading of bills and resolutions, Mr. Clerk will read.
House Bill 1384 by Representative Scoggins, the 14th Administration of the 104th, Burchett of the 176th, Kelly the 16th, Cannon of the 172nd. The bill be entitled an act to amend Code Section 3634-2 of the Official Code of Georgia Annotated relating to powers relating to administration of government.
Governmental Affairs.
House Bill 1385 by Representative Chastain of the 7th, Lumsden of the 12th, Cox of the 28th, Barrett of the 24th, Gunner of the 8th, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend Title 8 and 25 of the official code of Georgia annotated relating to buildings and housing and fire protection and safety.
Regulated Industries.
House Bill 1386 by Representative Dawson of the 65th, Berry the 56th, Jones of the 60th, Glaze of the 67th, McQueen of the 61st, and others. The bill be titled an act to amend Chapter 62 of Title 36 of the official code of Georgia annotated relating to development authorities.
Governmental Affairs.
House Bill 1387 by Representative Gullett of the 19th, Moptahan of the 17th, and Thomas of the 21st. Bill be titled an act to amend Article 2, Chapter 5 of Title 48 of the official code of Georgia annotated relating to property tax exemptions and deferral.
Ways and Means.
House Bill 1388 by Representative Santos of the 117th, Washburn of the 144th, Ridley of the 22nd, Mitchell of the 88th, Cameron of the 1st. Bill be titled an act to amend Part 2 of Article 1 of Chapter 2 of Title 8 of the official code of Georgia annotated relating to state building, plumbing, and electrical codes.
Governmental Affairs.
House Bill 1389 by Representative Santos of the 117th, Mitchell of the 88th, Gilliard of the 162nd, Frye of the 122nd, Bernal of the 77th, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend Article 3 of Chapter 7 of Title 44 of the official code of Georgia annotated relating to dispossessory proceedings.
Judiciary.
House Bill 1390 by Representative Willis of the 55th, Schofield of the 63rd, McQueen of the 61st, Berry the 56th, Holland of the 54th, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend Code Section 46, 390.1 of the official code of Georgia annotated relating to reckless stunt driving.
Judiciary Non-Civil.
House Bill 1391 by Representative Fleming of the 114th, Hitchens of the 161st, Crow of the 118th, Lumsden of the 12th, Mathiak of the 82nd, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend Code Section 42, 86 of the official code of Georgia annotated relating to license plates promoting or supporting certain agencies.
Motor Vehicles.
House Bill 1392 by Representative Santos of the 117th, Griffin of the 149th, Stinson of the 150th. Bill be titled an act to amend Code Section 43, 1870 of the official code of Georgia annotated relating to requirement to only practice at licensed funerals establishments.
Regulated Industries.
House Bill 1395 by Representative Mathis of the 133rd, Crow of the 118th, Washburn of the 144th, Barrett of the 24th, Powell of the 33rd, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend Chapter 5 of Title 40 of the official code of Georgia annotated relating to driver's licenses.
Judiciary Non-Civil.
House Bill 1396 by Representative Estration of the 104th. Bill be titled an act to amend Article 1 of Chapter 8 of Title 50 of the official code of Georgia annotated relating to general provisions relative to the Department of Community Affairs.
Governmental Affairs.
House Bill 1397 by Representative Cooper of the 45th, Frye of the 122nd, Reeves of the 99th, Hagan of the 156th, and Roberts of the 52nd. Bill be titled an act to amend Article 4 of Chapter 5 of Title 17 of the official code of Georgia annotated relating to investigating sexual assault.
Judiciary Non-Civil.
House Bill 1398 by Representative Cooper of the 45th, Franklin of the 160th, Frye of the
Mr. Clerk, suspend just for a moment. Mr. Clerk, 1397 needs to go to Judiciary instead of Non-Civil. Judiciary.
House Bill 1398 by Representative Cooper of the 45th, Franklin of the 160th, Frye of the 122nd, Hagan of the 156th, Carpenter of the 4th, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend Article 2, Chapter 4, Title 17 of the official code of Georgia annotated relating to arrest by law enforcement officers.
Judiciary Non-Civil.
House Bill 1399 by Representative Gilliard of the 162nd, Tran of the 80th, Adenia of the 110th. Bill be titled an act to amend Chapter 1 of Title 10 of the official code of Georgia annotated relating to selling and other trade practices.
Technology and Infrastructure Innovation.
House Bill 1400 by Representative Gilliard of the 162nd, Tran of the 80th, Adina of the 110th. Bill be titled an act to amend Chapter 1 of Title 10 of the official code of Georgia annotated relating to selling and other trade practices.
Agriculture and Consumer Affairs.
House Bill 1401 by Representative Gisler of the 121st, Tran of the 80th, Sanchez of the 42nd, Bell of the 75th, Park of the 107th, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend Article 1 of Chapter 2A, Title 31 of the Official Code of Georgia, annotated relating to general provisions regarding the Department of Public Health.
Public and Community Health.
House Bill 1402 by Representative Hagan of the 156th, Burns of the 159th, Irwin of the 32nd, Donna Tucci, the 105th, Ballard of the 147th, and others. The bill be titled an act to amend Part 3 of Article 16 of Chapter 2 of Title 20 of the Official Code of Georgia, annotated relating to health of students.
Education.
House Resolution 1415 by Representative Prince of the 132nd, a resolution honoring the life of Master Sergeant Gary I. Gordon and dedicating a road in his memory.
Transportation.
House Resolution 1416 by Representative Dickey, the 134th, Meeks of the 178th, Osteen of the 169th, Ford of the 170th, Corbett of the 174th, and others. A resolution creating the Joint Study Committee on Generational Sustainability of Family Farms.
Agriculture and Consumer Affairs.
House Resolution 1417 by Representative Wade of the 9th, Evans the 57th, Smith of the 18th, Gaines of the 120th, Gunner of the 8th, and others. A resolution recognizing February 26, 2026 as Dale Murphy Day and urging Major League Baseball Hall of Fame Committee to induct Dale Murphy into the National Baseball Hall of Fame.
That's overdue. Special rules.
House Resolution 1418 by Representative Washburn of the 144th, Dickey of the 134th, Carpenter of the 4th, Corbett of the 174th, Williams of the 148th, and others. A resolution proposing an amendment to the Constitution so as to impose a 1% statewide sales and use tax.
Ways and Means.
House Resolution 1419 by Representative Martin of the 49th, Hughley of the 141st, Jones of the 47th, and Cooper of the 45th. A resolution recognizing February 2026 as Turner Syndrome Awareness Month in Georgia.
Special rules.
That completes first readers.
Second reading of bills and resolutions. The clerk will read.
House Bill 1354 by Representative Kelly of the 16th, Hatchett of the 155th, Newton of the 127th, a bill to amend the Surprise Billing Consumer Protection Act. House Bill 1355 by Representative Werkheiser of the 157th, a bill relating to workers' compensation. House Bill 1356 by Representative Stinson of the 150th, a bill to amend an act creating a Board of Commissioners of Macon County. House Bill 1357 by Representative Franklin of the 160th, Burns of the 159th, and Parrish of the 158th, a bill to amend an act creating the Bullitt County Public Facilities Authority, providing for the appointment of members of the authority. House Bill 1358 by Representative LaHood of the 175th, a bill to authorize the assessment and collection of a technology fee by the Magistrate Court of Brooks County. House Bill 1359 by Representative LaHood of the 175th, a bill to amend an act to create a Board of Elections and Registration for Brooks County. House Bill 1361 by Representative Kelly of the 16th, Hawkins of the 27th, Dempsey of the 13th, a bill relating to pharmacists and pharmacies. House Bill 1362 by Representative Ridley of the 6th, Rhodes of the 124th, Burchett of the 176th, Smith of the 18th, Corbett of the 174th, and others, a bill relating to general provisions for eligibility and qualifications for office. House Bill 1363 by Representative Silcox of the 53rd, Astration of the 104th, Fleming of the 114th, Panich of the 51st, and Carson of the 46th, a bill relating to education. House Bill 1364 by Representative Leverett of the 123rd, Scoggins of the 14th, Kelly of the 16th, Momptahan of the 17th, and Gamble of the 15th, a bill relating to miscellaneous provisions relative to timeshare projects and programs. House Bill 1365 by Representative Jones of the 25th, Silcox of the 53rd, Martin of the 49th, Jones of the 47th, Evans of the 57th, and others, a bill relating to the number of judges of superior courts. House Bill 1366 by Representative Carter of the 93rd, Smith of the 41st, Park of the 107th, Evans of the 57th, Glaze of the 67th, and others, a bill relating to the Georgia Student Finance Authority. House Bill 1367 by Representative Roberts of the 52nd, Bazemore of the 69th, Silcox of the 53rd, Cannon of the 58th, Owl of the 50th, and others. A bill to amend an act creating one or more community improvement districts in unincorporated Fulton County. House Bill 1368 by Representative Cooper of the 45th, Hatchett of the 155th, Stevens of the 164th, Dempsey of the 13th, and Reese of the 140th. A bill relating to mental health. House Bill 1369 by Representative Clark of the 100th, Bonner of the 73rd, Barrett of the 24th, Ridley of the 22nd, Horner of the 3rd, and others. A bill relating to laws and statutes. House Bill 1371 by Representative Ridley of the 22nd, Carpenter of the 4th, Horner of the 3rd, Kelly of the 16th, and Scoggins of the 14th. A bill relating to income taxes. House Bill 1372 by Representative Ridley of the 22nd, Ridley of the 6th, Horner of the 3rd, Thomas of the 21st, Tarvin of the 2nd, and others. A bill relating to prohibiting the acquisition of possessory interests in certain land by certain foreign persons and entities. House Bill 1373 by Representative Ridley of the 22nd, Ridley of the 6th, Horner of the 3rd, Douglas of the 78th, a bill relating to gambling. House Bill 1374 by Representative Hawkins of the 27th, Stevens of the 164th, Jaspers of the 11th, Newton of the 127th, Clark of the 100th, a bill relating to insurance. House Bill 1375 by Representative Hawkins of the 27th, Hong of the 103rd, Clark of the 100th, Donahue of the 31st, and Dubnick of the 29th, a bill to amend an act creating the State Court of Hall County. House Bill 1376 by Representative Florina of the 74th, Lupton of the 83rd, Ali of the 106th, Baker of the 64th, and Beckles of the 96th, a bill relating to the Georgia Vocational Rehabilitation Agency. House Bill 1377 by Representative Carson of the 46th, Abstration of the 104th, Earhart of the 36th, Parsons of the 44th, Donatucci of the 105th, and others, a bill relating to special districts and transportation purposes, sales and use tax. House Bill 1378 by Representative Carper of the 93rd, Stinson of the 150th, Donatucci of the 105th, Evans of the 57th, Glaze of the 67th, and others, a bill to amend the Georgia Promise Scholarship Act. House Bill 1379 by Representative Gaines of the 120th, Panich of the 51st, Carson of the 46th, Cox of the 28th, and Fleming of the 114th, a bill relating to education. House Bill 1380 by Representative Miles of the 126th, Neal of the 79th, Hitchens of the 161st, Powell of the 33rd, Prince of the 132nd, and others, a bill relating to license plates for persons with disabilities. House Bill 1381 by Representative Park of the 107th, Jones of the 25th, Gisler of the 121st, Herring of the 145th, Camp of the 135th, and others, a bill relating to integrated resource planning. House Bill 1382 by Representative Gisler of the 121st, Bonner of the 73rd, Jackson of the 68th, Scott of the 76th, and Davis of the 87th, a bill relating to education. House Bill 1383 by Representative Smith of the 18th, a bill relating to air quality. House Bill 1393 by Representative Werkheiser of the 157th, Osteen of the 169th, Hagan of the 156th, Burchett of the 176th, Parrish of the 158th, and others, a bill relating to county and municipal hospital authorities. House Bill 1394 by Representative Jackson of the 128th, Griffin of the 149th, Sampson of the 153rd, Lewis Ward of the 115th, Williams of the 168th, and others, a bill relating to powers, duties, authorities of the Department of Community Affairs and Historic Preservation Grant Program. House Resolution 1391 by Representative Corbett of the 174th, Ridley of the 6th, Rhodes of the 124th, Williams of the 148th, LaHood of the 175th, a resolution honoring the life of Mrs. Edna Sermon Sessoms and dedicating a bridge in her memory. House Resolution 1393 by Representative Miles of the 126th, Hughley of the 141st, Williams of the 168th, Buckner of the 137th, Green of the 154th, and others, a resolution creating the House Study Committee on Rural Hospitals. Senate Bill 432 by Senator Walker of the 20th, Andavarte of the 31st, Burns of the 23rd, Hickman of the 4th, Jones of the 22nd, and others, a bill relating to education. House Bill 446 by Representative Dixon of the 45th, Hickman of the 4th, Ginn of the 47th, Gooch of the 51st, Hillary of the 19th, and others, a bill relating to student scholarship organizations. Senate Bill 462 by Senator Still of the 48th, Andavarte of the 31st, Watson of the 1st, Harrell of the 40th, Hatchett of the 50th, and others, a bill to amend the Surprise Billing Consumer Protection Act through second readers.
Reports of standing committees, Mr. Clerk will read.
Representative Williams of the 148th District, Chairman of the Committee on Banks and Banking, submitted the following report. Mr. Speaker, your Committee on Banks and Banking has had under its consideration following bills to the House. Has instructed me to report the same back to the House with the following recommendations. House Bill 1112, due passed by committee substitute. House Bill 1272, due passed by committee substitute. Respectfully submitted, Representative Williams of the 148th District, Chairman. Representative Ron Stevens, of the 164th District, Chairman of the Committee on Economic Development and Tourism, submitted the following report. Mr. Speaker, your Committee on Economic Development and Tourism has had under its consideration the following bill of the House. Has instructed me to report the same back to the House with the following recommendation. House Bill 490, due pass. Due pass by committee substitute. Respectfully submitted, Representative Gamble of the 15th, Vice Chairman. Representative Chris Irwin of the 32nd District, Chairman of the Committee on Education, submitted the following report. Mr. Speaker, your Committee on Education has had under its consideration the following bills of the House. It instructed me to report the same back to the House with the following recommendations. House Bill 1259, due pass by substitute. House Bill 1107, due pass by substitute. House Bill 1164, due pass by substitute. House Bill 1123, due pass. House Bill 1030, due pass by substitute. House Bill 1220, due pass by substitute. House Bill 1218, due pass. House Bill 634, due pass. Respectfully submitted, Representative Chris Irwin in the 32nd District, Chairman. Representative Lauren McDonald, the 26th District, Chairman of the Committee on Intergovernmental Coordination Locals, submitted the following report. Mr. Speaker, your Committee on Intergovernmental Coordination Locals had under its consideration following bills of the House and Senate. It's instructed me to report the same back to the House with the following recommendations. House Bill 1120, due pass. House Bill 1213, due pass. House Bill 1297, due pass. Senate Bill 351, due pass. Respectfully submitted, Representative Lauren McDonald of the 26th District, Chairman. Representative Gunner of the 8th District, Chairman on Committee on Judiciary, submitted the following report. Mr. Speaker, your Committee on Judiciary has had under its consideration following bills of the House. It's instructed me to report same back to the House with the following recommendations. House Bill 1021, due pass. House Bill 1028, due pass by committee substitute. House Bill 1042, due pass by committee substitute. Respectfully submitted, Representative Gunner of the 8th District, Chairman. Representative Rick Jaspers of the 11th District, Chairman on Committee on Transportation, submitted the following report. Mr. Speaker, your Committee on Transportation has had under its consideration the following bills of the House. It's instructed me to report the same back to the House with the following recommendations. House Bill 1137, due pass. House Bill 1277, due pass by committee substitute. Respectfully submitted, Representative Rick Jaspers of the 11th District, Chairman. That completes the reading of the reports of standing committees. If we don't put it there, we're going to move it, right?
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Moving on to the local calendar. Members, House will come to order. There's one bill on the local calendar that is agree, disagree. And to add to that, having received the requisite number of signatures required, the House delegation wishes to agree to the Senate substitute to the House bill. Third reading and passage of uncontested local bills. There is no objection. We will vote on the local calendar as a whole with a recorded vote. Hearing none is so ordered. Mr. Clerk will read the local calendar.
House Bill 1120 by Representative Gunner of the 8th, Union County. House Bill 1213 by Representative Cummings of the 39th, City of Mableton. House Bill 1297 by Representative Meeks of the 178th, Pierce County. Senate Bill 351 by Senator Walker of the 20th, Troutland County. House Bill 1029, agreeing to the Senate substitute by Representative Thomas of the 21st, City of Holly Springs.
So members will be voting on House Bill 1029. We will be agreeing to the Senate substitute by Representative Thomas of the 21st on about the City of Holly Springs. House Bill 1029 revises the city council districts and boundaries and the local legislation with the Senate changes. We agree to the Senate substitute as amended, and it does require as a requisite for the House delegation, and that has been attained. The signatures of the House delegation. Is there any objection to previous question being ordered on the local calendar? Hearing none, the previous question is ordered. Shall these bills now pass? All those in favor of the passage of the bills on the local calendar will vote yes. All those opposed will vote no. And Mr. Clerk will unlock the machines. Have all members voted? All members voted? All members voted? If so, Mr. Clerk, we'll lock the machines on the passage of the local calendar. The yeas are 162. The nays are 0. These bills, having received the requisite constitutional majority, are therefore passed. Members, we'll move on to morning orders. Representative Sanchez. Members, we'll have our moment in Black history this morning. Representative Sanchez will present, and up to 2 minutes, my friend. The representatives recognized. Give the gentleman the well your attention, please.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Today, I rise for our
Member
moment
will
in Black
suspend.
history.
Let's get a few of these conversations moved out in the anteroom. Gentleman's recognized.
Thank you. Today, I rise for our moment in Black history. Black history doesn't just include those who are no longer with us, but also honoring living legacies who still are making history for our communities today. I'm honored to recognize Luis Negron Sr., a bridge builder for youth across our city. As a proud Afro-Latino and former executive director of 100 Black Men of Atlanta, Luis has shown us what it means to honor every part of our identity while using it to bring people together and inspire others to do the same. Through his leadership, the 100 Black Men of Atlanta strengthen our communities by investing in our youth, supporting education, and engaging in conversations surrounding the economic, social, and health issues that shape people's lives. Under his guidance, the organization not only met the moment, but also helped define what it means to be an authentic leader for young people in our state. Luis Negron's work reminds us that when communities from all walks of life can come together, our collective impact is greater. Today, his legacy is reflected in the students uplifted, the families supported, and the future leaders inspired to create positive change across our state. A change we all know is possible. Our state is stronger because of Luis's legacy and commitment. Thank you, Luis, for your leadership. And thank you, Mr. Speaker. I yield the well.
Thank you, Representative Sanchez. Chairman LaHood and the Lowndes County delegation. Chairman LaHood and the Lowndes County delegation. Other members of the delegation. Members, I'm going to ask you to rise as the Lowndes County delegation. Conversations will cease.
Thank you, Speaker. Members, this is a sad day in Lowndes County and across the public service law enforcement community. We've lost a young man on the Hayhira Police Department police force. He was doing his job on the shoulder of I-75 early Thursday morning, a little after midnight, and was struck by a fast-moving vehicle that went off the road onto the shoulder, killed him instantly. Caleb Abney was 26 years old. He was engaged to be married. He had just bought his first home. He had a history with the Lowndes County Fire Department and then moved to the Hayhire Police Department. Tragic loss, and we're mourning, his loss, and ask that his soul rest in peace. And we ask for you to join us in a moment of silence. Thank you.
Thank you, members. Condolences to his fiancée and to his family. Tragic loss. Public safety heroes are underappreciated, but we appreciate him, and thanks for his service. Members, you're going to have up to 1 minute for your morning order. Up to 1 minute for your morning order. Representative Herring, Representative Tangi Herring, you on the floor? Representative Beckles, you're on deck. Representative Herring and one friend. Ladies recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and members of the House. Our doctor of the day, Dr. Keisha Renee Callens, is a Georgia-trained obstetrician, gynecologist, public health leader, and passionate advocate for women's health. She serves as the Chief Wellness Officer at Community Health Care Systems Incorporated, a federally qualified health center network serving rural and underserved communities across Middle Georgia. including Twiggs and Jones County. A champion for rural health, Dr. Callens is deeply committed to expanding access to quality care and training for the next generation of physicians to practice in rural communities. Her leadership extends statewide throughout her service of Georgia Composite Medical Board and Sandra Dunnigan Deal Early Language and Literacy Board and the Georgia Maternal and Infant Health Commission. An award-winning physician, published author, and dynamic speaker, Dr. Callens lives her personal mission every day. While you may not be able to change the entire world, you can change the world of everyone you encounter. Thank you, Dr. Callens, for your service. Mr. Speaker, I yield the well.
Thank you for that recognition. Great service. Representative Beckles. And friends, lady will suspend for a moment. Give your friends a chance to arrive. They're on that slow train from Memphis, I think, but they're here. The lady is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Today, I rise to recognize an outstanding work of the recognize the outstanding work of the Junior Running Club of Norcross. It's in my district. This incredible organization is doing great things, more than training young athletes. They are building discipline, confidence, and character in our youth. Through early morning practice, mentorship, and a commitment to healthy living, these students are learning lessons that extend far beyond the track. The Junior Running Club is strengthening families and promoting wellness throughout Norcross, while reminding us all that perseverance and teamwork create champions both on and off the course. Please join me in welcoming the Junior Running Club of Norcross. Could you stand? Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I yield the well.
Thank you, Representative. Welcome to the People's House. Y'all keep on running. It's good for you. Keep you healthy. So we appreciate y'all, and thanks for being dedicated to something you love and makes you feel good. Representative Berry is recognized for a morning order. Representative Baker, you're on deck.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Today we are joined by We Care Atlanta, a community violence intervention group here doing important work in my district and across the city of Atlanta. Led by Ricky Usher and Crystal Smith, organizations like We Care Atlanta focus on prevention. They build relationships, mentor young people, and help de-escalate conflicts and support families navigating through trauma. Their work is practical, it is community-based, and rooted in trust. And it does not stop in our neighborhoods, it also shows up in our classrooms. When students experience violence and instability, it can affect attendance, focus, and behavior. Teachers see the impact every single day, and while schools do incredible work, they can't address these challenges alone. So that's why these community violence intervention groups matter. When schools and community organizations coordinate, sharing information, connecting families and to services, and aligning mentorship with academic support, students are more likely to stay engaged. If we want safer communities and stronger schools, we have to recognize how closely connected they are. And this work partners at every level of government. And so I want to thank We Care Atlanta for the work they do every day for our community. I invite my colleagues to engage with them. Please stand and be recognized. I invite my colleagues to engage with them today as they're here in the Capitol. And join us in the Atlanta delegation meeting. They'll be presenting on their work again in the Atlanta delegation meeting. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Representative. Welcome to the People's House. Okay, Representative Baker, Representative Alexander. And a friend.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Today I rise to recognize the Smooth Asler Grand Chapter, Order of Eastern Star, Prince Hall Origin, Jurisdiction of Georgia, as they celebrate 80 years, that's 80 years of exemplary service to communities across our state. Since its founding in 1945, the Smooth Asler Grand Chapter has remained steadfast in its commitment to charity, education, mentorship, and community uplift. Under the leadership of Grand-worthy Matron Sister Amy Wallace Hodo, and through the dedicated service of its members, the organization continues to make a meaningful impact in the lives of families throughout Georgia. We thank them for their leadership, their legacy, and their continued service, and we are honored to recognize this milestone, this remarkable milestone. If you will please stand, and members, please join me in congratulating them on 80 years of service to the state of Georgia. Welcome. And as we applaud 80 years of faith, service, and community leadership, we are reminded that services take many forms, from mentorship and education to ensuring that families have food on their tables. With that in mind, Mr. Speaker, I rise to recognize and commend 3 extraordinary individuals whose work reminds us that food insecurity is not a talking point, it is a lifeline. As we observe National Canned Food Month in February, we're reminded that for many Georgia families, canned food is not convenience, it's survival. Behind every can placed on a pantry shelf is a volunteer, a director, or a community partner who made it possible. In Douglasville, we are pleased to have our leadership, Michael Sizemore, who's the executive director of the Good Samaritan Food Pantry, and from the Atlanta Community Food Bank, we have Megan Middleton, Director of Government Affairs, and Michael Warner, County Relationship Manager. Members, these people do more than distribute food. Please join me in thanking these remarkable servants for strengthening the fabric of Georgia, one family, one pantry, and one can of food at a time. If you'll please rise. Welcome to the House. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I yield the well.
Thank you, Representative Baker. Representative Baker. Representative Baker, can we have your second? Hey, food pantries do a great service to their neighbors, our people, so thank you for your service and helping folks out and making sure they're taken care of. Thank you for that. Thanks for being here. And I wanted to make sure I got it right. To the Ashler Grand Chapter, thank y'all. Stand up again. Let's welcome you back to the House. I'm going to make sure we don't. Thank you. We appreciate you ladies being and everything y'all are doing, so thank you. Appreciate your work. Y'all look beautiful. I can tell you that. Glad to have y'all. Chairman Jaspers. Gentleman is recognized for a morning order.
Thank you, Speaker. I had the honor today to honor our broadcasters and television folks. Now, since all of us have to run for re-election every other year, I hope that you use these people to get your message out in your community, because they're great news people and paper. But the newspaper people are here also today, and we're honoring them. They're downstairs listening to a number of our members, and so, but as you see them, greet them and say hey to your broadcasters. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Chairman. Representative Jackson. Representative Mac Jackson is recognized for a morning order. Then we'll have Representative Fleming, Chairman Williams, and Representative Martinez. You're on deck.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Today I rise to welcome Head Start to the Georgia State Capitol. Today is Susie Wiltshire Day, and they are coming here to commemorate Susie Wiltshire on Head Start Day. If you're in the gallery, won't you rise so that we can recognize you? Thank you to our Head Start organizations for coming to the Georgia State Capitol. Mr. Speaker, I yield the well.
Representative Fleming, Chairman Williams' son, and Representative Martinez. Hey, good to see you there, Congressman.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Haynes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Colleagues, it's my honor today to recognize a group we have from Monroe, Georgia, and that is George Walton Academy. It's some of their 3rd, 4th, and 5th graders, part of their BARK program, which is their gifted program. They are here in the gallery. Will y'all please stand so we can recognize y'all? Welcome to the Georgia State Capitol. Also, Mr. Speaker, my daughter, Hannah Fleming, who's in the red dress back there in the back of the room, she's part of the program, and she's here today with one of her teachers, Miss Sneeder, who's standing behind her. So if everybody tell Hannah, good morning. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank y'all. Good to have y'all. It's always good to have folks from home to visit us that are really engaged. Thank you, young people. You are Georgia's future. Representative Johnny Chastain, what are you going to talk about? Apples. Oh, all you Apple folks.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Gentlemen, suspend just for a moment. Gentlemen, suspend.
Watch it, I'm going to throw this out.
You better be careful.
This is important. Look what's on your desk. Apple a day keeps the doctors away, right?
Yes, sir.
Gentlemen's recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. An apple a day keeps the doctor away. On your desk, everyone, you will find a Cameo, a Pink Lady, an Evercrisp, or a Ludacrisp, one of those 4 or 5 apples that's brought down early this morning from Ellijay, and those apples are part of each apple orchard. It's there in Gilmer County, so we kind of spread that around. But I want to thank Josh Aaron. Josh is up in the gallery. Stand up, Josh. He brought these all the way down from North Georgia this morning to give everyone an apple.
Hey, Josh.
And Josh is also doing a great job with the Georgia Apple Commission, which is made up of all the apple growers there in our community, and he's sort of leading the way on that. So appreciate that, Josh, and thank you for being here.
Thank you, Josh.
Mr. Speaker, also Josh has done a really good job of connecting Ellijay and Effingham. He's delivering to Effingham schools very often, so you appreciate that.
You're behind a little bit. Josh and I already talked about that early this morning while you were asleep. So, Josh, thank you. Come on down and join me up here if you will. Apple a day, yeah, thanks to a big part of our state and our success. And the apple industry, Josh, thank you. How many years? 83, 87? 83. His family's been in the apple business. Thank you, Josh. Enjoy your apples. Representative Townsend and Representative Dewey. Newton and friends, other friends as well.
Yeah.
If y'all are friends, join them. You obviously don't.
All
have
right,
any
thank you,
friends.
Mr. Speaker. Dewey's good enough. I like you, Dewey.
Yes.
All right, today, guys, is a special day. It is Donor Day at the Capitol. That's right, it's a donor day at the Capitol. As you know, I'm a kidney donor myself. Over 20 years ago, I donated a kidney to my daughter. It's a special time for me. Did you know in Georgia there are 2,600 Georgians last year who donated an organ? 229 were alive. So we can do something about that, guys. We can all donate an organ. Make sure when you get your driver's license renewed, there's one way to do it. You can do it through a hunting and fishing license. You can go to online website too as well, donorlifegeorgia.org. Right now, there are over 3,300 Georgians awaiting a transplant. That's right, 3,300 Georgians awaiting a transplant. I want to thank LifeLink, who's here, Hope Weed, Executive Director, and Bobby Howard. If you're here, please stand up. Let's give LifeLink, they help transport these kidneys. They help with the transplant process. Without them, we couldn't do it. Again, let's give LifeLink and all these organ donors a round of applause, guys. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hey, thanks. That's very good one. Very important work. Thank you. Representative Donatucci. You got a visual aid there, don't you? Did I approve that? Did I approve that visual aid? It's approved. And Representative Martinez. The lady's recognized.
Mr. Speaker, today I rise to recognize family caregiver legislators. There you go. I'll let you hold that. Thank you. Each one is a special story for those that they love. It is said that there are 4 kinds of people in this world: those who have been caregivers, those
Lady
who are,
will suspend just for a moment.
Thank you, guys. those who are currently caregivers, those who will be caregivers, and those who will need a caregiver. Across Georgia, 2.5 million people are caring for older parents, spouses, or other loved ones. Family caregivers in our state provide $16.3 million in unpaid care each year, helping family members live independently at home and in their communities where they want to be. That is why AARP has made it their mission to ensure that family caregivers have the resources and support that they need to best care for their loved ones. On behalf of AARP, we're recognizing and honoring the work that you do, but also for all of these legislative caregivers. If you would give them a hand. There they are.
Y'all will stand there. There's some folks from AARP right there. Thank y'all for what you do. We appreciate you. Representative Donatucci, thank you for that. It is about families taking care of families and neighbors taking care of neighbors. So we appreciate our caregivers. And thanks for what AARP does as well. And that's, thank you. One more morning order. Representative Matt Reeves is recognized for a morning order.
Thank you, Speaker Burns. Would like to, with your permission, invite any Gwinnett folks up here because we have the men of distinction from Lanier High School. Please stand up, gentlemen. They are here with mentors. They are learning life skills, business skills. They're learning about their state government. They are Lanier Longhorns. Welcome to your state capital.
Thank you, Representative. Welcome to the Capitol. That completes our morning orders. We'll move on to the rules calendar. Members, we're going to hear House Bill 1061 first. This is one you need to be at your desk as we honor a former member of this House. Mr. Clerk, will you read the caption to House Bill 1061?
House Bill 1061 by Representative Camp of the 135th, to be entitled an act to amend Chapter 11 of Title 15 of the Official Code of Georgia, annotated relating to the Juvenile Code, so as to enact the Mandy Ballinger Act and to provide for implementation committee. This bill having referred to the Committee on Juvenile Justice, that committee recommends that this bill do pass by committee substitute.
Chair Lady Camp is recognized to present House Bill 1061.
Good morning, Mr. Speaker. Good morning, members. Today I rise to present House Bill 1061, known as the Mandy Ballinger Act. This legislation reflects years of thoughtful work on juvenile justice reform and honors a colleague who dedicated her career to protecting children and strengthening families. At its core, HB 1061 addresses a fundamental question: how should we treat 17-year-olds in our justice system? Today in Georgia, 17 is automatically treated as an adult in the criminal system, regardless of the offense. We are one of the only few states in the nation that still does this. This bill takes a more balanced and evidence-based approach. HB 1061 allows certain 17-year-olds to fall under the jurisdiction of the juvenile court system, where the focus is not only accountability, but rehabilitation, supervision, and the opportunity to redirect their life before they permanently take a road they cannot come back from. Importantly, this is not a blanket policy. Serious violent offenses are excluded. Repeat offenders and certain high-risk crimes remain in the adult system. This bill carefully is structured to ensure that public safety remains paramount. Members, I want to talk for a moment briefly about the stakeholders who were involved in this issue. In the committee hearing, the Georgia Sheriff's Association spoke on this bill and they took a neutral position. Additionally, the Prosecuting Attorney's Council of Georgia expressed support for this legislation. That combination reflects a careful balance between public safety, accountability, and rehabilitation. What this bill recognizes is that science, data, and experience have consistently shown us that adolescents at the age of 17 typically are not fully brain developed. That appropriate intervention at this stage can reduce recidivism and improve long-term outcomes. Members, this is about being smart and being tough on crime. HB 1061 ensures that this transition is implemented responsibly with the necessary coordination and structure to support our courts and our communities by creating an organizational committee to determine how to accomplish this objective. And just as importantly, this bill honors my dear friend Mandy Ballinger, a leader who worked tirelessly to improve outcomes for children in our state and who understood that public safety and compassion are not competing values. Members, we have an opportunity today to take a meaningful step towards Georgia's families, for our courts, for our young people, to get them back on the right path. I respectfully ask for your favorable consideration on House Bill 1061. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. The lady has no questions.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I yield the well.
Ladies yield the will. Thank you, members. Is there any objection to the previous question being ordered? Hearing none, the previous question is ordered. Is there objection to adopting the committee substitute? Hearing none, the committee substitute is adopted. Is there any objection to agreeing to the report of the committee, which was favorable to the passage of the bill? Hearing none, the report of the committee is agreed to. Shall this bill now pass? All in favor of the passage of the bill will vote yes. All those opposed will vote no. And Mr. Clerk will unlock the machine. Have all members voted? All members voted. If so, Mr. Clerk will lock the machine. On the passage of House Bill 1061, the Mandy Ballinger Act, the yeas are 155, the nays are 0. This bill, having received the requisite constitutional majority, is therefore passed. Thank you, members. Thank you, Judge. Thank you, Henry. That beloved Henry. Know that Chairlady Ballinger's smiling down on that young man. Mr. Clerk, will you read the caption to House Bill 1199.
House Bill 1199 by Representative Carson of the 46th to be entitled an act to amend Code Section 4812 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to definitions regarding revenue and taxation, so as revise the definition of the terms Internal Revenue Code and an Internal Revenue Code of 1986 to incorporate certain provisions of the federal law into Georgia law. This bill having referred to the Committee on Ways and Means, that committee recommends that this bill do pass by Rules Committee substitute.
Chairman Carson is recognized to present the bill, House Bill 1199. The gentleman is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and happy Friday, everybody. This is House Bill 1199. This is our annual Internal Revenue Code, or IRC, conformity update. It's a housekeeping measure. Every year we have to do this to change the dates in our Title 48 Revenue Code to conform to the tax changes that were made in Washington, D.C. We're conforming to most. There's a couple that we're not conforming to, but this is a necessary measure so that Georgians can file their income tax returns, that we have tax laws in place for 2025. overall for about a 5-year period beginning in fiscal 26. This is a net tax reduction combined for individuals and businesses. And with that, Mr. Speaker, I will happy to answer a question. If not, I'll ask for the body's favorable consideration.
Gentleman has a question. He yield?
Yes, sir, I'll yield.
Representative Holcomb to your left is recognized for a question.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Does the gentleman yield?
Yes, sir, I do.
I read all these sections, and 63B5 is no tip, 63B6 is overtime, 63B7 is interest on personal indebtedness, 163H4 is personal interest, 174A is domestic research or experimental expenditures, and then on lines 21 through 23, the exclusion concerns charitable contributions and moving it back to before the enactment of Public Law 11921. Can you explain a little bit more why we're excluding all of those provisions?
Yes, there's several considerations there to my friend from DeKalb. There's several considerations there. One is in regard to we have to have a balanced budget in Georgia, and several of these provisions were going to be too costly from a revenue consideration. What we're literally looking to do is lower the tax rate for all Georgians as opposed to specific carve-outs here or there. But we are adopting, I would argue, a majority of the IRC conformity proposals. I would also add that we are, what we're doing in regard to this conformity is adopting the provisions that, the specific provisions that Department of Revenue and OPB have suggested that we do.
Okay, all right, thank you.
If I could also say the public law that you just mentioned, that I believe that is, if I'm not mistaken, that's in relation to the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act. We did not conform to that in full in for 2018, for tax year going forward. So there's certain items that we don't need to conform back to because we already conformed to it.
Thanks.
The gentleman has no further questions, but we do have a speaker. But you
Thank
have
you, Mr.
no further
Speaker. I'll ask
questions.
for the body's favorable consideration.
We do have a speaker that will speak in opposition. As Representative David Wilkerson. Representative Wilkerson is recognized. Give the gentleman your attention, please.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. As my fellow Cobb County has said, we do need to get the tax conformity bill out. I am personally voting no because of the fact that was alluded to a little while ago, is that the federal government has decided not to tax tips up to $25,000. They're not taxing overtime, which means our law enforcement that works overtime, et cetera, they're still going to be taxed on this. While we do need to pass this bill, I encourage us to also pass separate legislation which will raise the standard deduction so that we can comply with the federal government. I know there's some bills moving, and I would look forward to seeing those. But for me, if we're going to give a tax cut and lower the rate, my preference would be to say nobody pays tax on the first $25,000. That would save about $675 by raising standard deduction. Lowering the rate will save somebody $26 for that same cut. And a millionaire will save, tens of thousands of dollars. So I would encourage the body, as this bill moves forward, to look at separate legislation that would not tax overtime, not tax tips, and I would go a step further and not tax anybody for the first 25 personally. But I'm not telling you to vote no, I'm telling you what I'm doing. But again, I want to thank my colleagues and I want to thank the Ways and Means Chairman and the team for all the work they're doing. But personally, I'm voting no because I believe that those folks need a tax break and they're not getting it through this legislation. Thank you, and I will yield the well. Or I'll yield to any questions.
Gentleman, yield for a question?
Yes, sir.
Chairman Carpenter to your right. Representative Wilkerson.
I
to
saw
your
you
right.
smiling
Gentleman's
at me.
recognized.
Yeah, it's so good to see you. Is it not true that I employ a lot of people in the service industry that work on tips?
Yes, it is.
Is it also not further true that the people that are making tips are making a whole lot more money than the people in the back? So I'm not sure that a tax cut is apropos to make sure that on tips is making sure everybody's supported in the state. It's a carve out.
Well, and I hope the gentleman heard my part where I said I would not only comply with what the federal government is requiring, but I would also extend that same tax cut to the back office, because I've had that same conversation when H.R. 1 was passed, is that you're giving a break to the people that are serving but not the people in the back. I say give it to everybody. So whether you're driving Uber, whether you're at Chick-fil-A and you're making the biscuits or you're delivering the biscuits, you'll get the same tax cut. So I agree with you. This would be a tax cut by going a step further for everybody. But thank you for asking. Any other?
Yeah, gentlemen, you have one more question?
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
Representative Kelly in the right rear. Gentleman's recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. With the gentleman yield.
Yes, my good friend.
Tell my friend from Cobb County, so is your position today that you're grateful that President Trump, the Republican-led Congress and Senate, passed the big, beautiful bill which included no tax on overtime or tips?
I'm glad you asked that question. My response would be that I am shocked that this body is neglecting the president by not passing the same tax cut that is supported by both Democrats and Republicans overwhelmingly. So to your point, I am not the one turning my back on Mr. President. But thank you for that question. Any other questions? I like numbers, by the way, so I'm getting excited.
The gentleman, you have one more. That was wise, Mr.
Oh,
Whip.
man.
Chairman Blackman is recognized.
Not for the chairman, yes, sir.
Is it not true that, do you yield for a question?
I do yield, yes.
Yes, is it not true that I have invited the gentleman to sign on to some legislation that would do some of that very thing that you are espousing to want us to engage on?
And I do say yes, Mr. Chairman, and I thank you for that because, as you know, I have signed on to several tax cuts. And if they are work for most Georgians, work for all Georgians, actually, I will look forward to giving tax relief. So let's talk about that bill. But for now, I will be voting no on this bill. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
I thank the representative for his signature.
The gentleman has no further questions. I think he's standing strong.
I yield it well. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Good conversation. Thanks for members ensuring we get it right. We have no further questions, and the gentleman's yielded well. Is there any objection to the previous question being ordered? Hearing none, the previous question is ordered. Is there any objection to agreeing to the substitute offered by the Committee on Rules? Hearing none, the Rules Committee substitute is adopted. Is there any objection to agreeing to the report of the committee, which was favorable to the passage of the bill? Hearing none, the report of the committee is agreed to. Shall this bill pass? All those in favor of the passage of the bill will vote yes. All those opposed will vote no. And Mr. Clerk will unlock the machines. Have all members voted? All members voted. If so, Mr. Clerk will lock the machine. On the passage of House Bill 1199, the yeas are 106 and nays are 54. This bill, having received the requisite constitutional majority, is therefore passed. Mr. Clerk, will you read the caption to House Bill 1086, 1086.
House Bill 1086 by Representative Chastain of the 7th and others to be entitled an act to amend Chapter 2 of Title 25 of the Official Code of Georgia Annotated relating to regulation of fire and other hazards to persons and property generally, so as to require notice to be posted upon certain buildings of the use of light frame truss type construction. This bill I referred to the Committee on Regulated Industries. That committee recommends that this bill do pass by committee substitute.
The gentleman from Blue Ridge, Representative Johnny Chastain, is recognized to present House Bill 1086. The gentleman is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. So I stand here today proud to present this bill as a Georgia firefighter, and this is HB 1086. This legislation will help protect Georgia firefighters from possible injury and death by simply requiring a very low-cost, small signage on the buildings that are used with light frame or light steel trusses. And this has been this bill has just been passed in Florida not too long ago and several other states. Sadly, a lot of states have passed this bill post a bad thing happening in their state or in their city where we've had injuries or deaths from firefighters going into these type of situations. So I'm very proud to be here and try to be proactive for our state in Georgia. This bill has been endorsed by the Georgia Fire Chiefs Association. It's been endorsed by the Georgia Firefighters Association, been endorsed by the Fire Engineering Service and the Georgia Safety and Fire Division with the Deputy Commissioner who's actually here with us this morning up in the gallery. I'm honored we named this bill after two fallen firefighters in Georgia. One, the Preston Lee Fant, a 21-year DeKalb County firefighter that passed this past September, actually in 2025, in the line of duty. And I think maybe some of his family's here today, and I hope they made it down. But he leaves behind his wife and 5 children and 1 grandchildren. Also, the other firefighter is Brant Chesney. And Brant was a 36-year firefighter in Gwinnett and Forsyth County, passed away in an apartment fire in Forsyth County many years ago. So we're very honored to be able to name this legislation after these 2 highly distinguished firefighters in Georgia. The bill simply requires the owner of a building that has these very light frame steel or wood trusses to place a sign in the bill. That will all be under the fire marshal and the fire safety division to where the little emblem will go. It's an 8-inch emblem. It's $9 on Amazon, but it saves lives. And it'll let a fireman or first responder know that if they call to the scene, to be a little bit more aware of that building, because those trusses are great. They're engineered, they're strong, they're all that, but they will fail quicker under fire than normal trusses. So we want our firefighters and our first responders to be aware of that when they're entering into a situation that's harmful to their life. So that's the bill, Mr. Speaker, and I'll be glad to answer any questions.
The gentleman has a question. Representative Jasmine Clark to your left is recognized for a question.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Does the gentleman yield?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much for bringing this bill. This is absolutely important legislation. I am concerned, however, about we talked
Members,
about.
excuse me, the lady will suspend. Members, you may be seated for a moment. Continue.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. So if a building is engulfed in flames, which sometimes happens by the time firefighters arrive, how do we ensure that the sign will actually still be able to be seen, since on line 24 of the bill it requires that the sign is on the building?
Yes, and that will be regulated by the state fire marshal as to where those emblems will go. It could be by the knock box. It could be by the electrical unit, which is a common place for firefighters to go. It could be by a water supply. But the ultimate call on that would be with the incident commander that would be on scene would make that call as to what transition that fire's in. If it's a defensive fire and it's already too late, obviously no one would be going in the building anyway.
And does the gentleman further yield?
Yes.
Is there any contemplation on possibly just requiring that building owners also register with their local fire department when they have this type of material, so that fire departments do know ahead of time this is one of those buildings that could possibly be more dangerous?
Yes, and thank you for the question. And they will know, because this will all be promulgated down from the fire safety marshal through communication to all the local fire marshals in the state.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Gentleman, yield for another question.
Yes, sir.
Representative Burchett, Whip Burchett to your right.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Does the gentleman yield?
Yes, sir.
To the lady's question, isn't it true that it is a common practice for fire departments to review or do an on-site visit of most commercial buildings in their service area, and in that case, ahead of time, they'll be able to see that placard on there? I know that in my community, is it not true that our fire departments make routine trips to our commercial buildings to, one, check the knock box, and this would be another check for them to determine whether or not it has this placard? Is that not true?
That is true. And many fire departments already have the pre-plans, as you mentioned, and they already know these buildings, and they are required to go back out on an annual basis. A lot of the rural fire departments have a little more trouble with that from staffing and things like that, but yes, sir, that is true.
Thank you, Representative.
Gentleman has no further questions, but we do have someone to speak in favor of, so you have no further questions. Gentleman's yielded the well. Representative Lauren McDonald is recognized to speak to the bill, House Bill 1086, speak in favor of the bill.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen of the House, today I want to come here speak in favor of House Bill 1086. HB 1086 is kind of personal for me. Back in 1996, December 28th, I was in the process of building my business in Forsyth County. I had an application into the Forsyth County Fire Department. And on that day, the fire department had one of the most tragic days in its life. As one of its own was Brant Chesney was killed in a fire off Buford Dam Road, an apartment fire, trust-built type structure. Tragic day. That lived on for years, and his memory still is in our fire department back home, as I served 23 years in Forsyth County. But today we have representing Forsyth County and the Chesney family, firemen that I worked with back in my days, firefighter Keith Perchie, Jason Stover, and Todd Sliger. I'd like for y'all to stand in supporting the Chesney family as we pass House Bill 1086. Thank you for being here, guys. Members, thank you. I look forward to your favorable support on House Bill 1086.
Thank you for bringing this legislation. There's no further speakers. That's the introduction and explanation of House Bill 1086. Members, thank you for your attention. Is there any objection to the previous question being ordered? Hearing none, the previous question is ordered. Is there any objection to adopting the committee's substitute? Hearing none, the committee's substitute is adopted. Is there any objection to agreeing to the report of the committee, which was favorable to the passage of the bill? Hearing none, the report of the committee is agreed to. Shall this bill now pass? All those in favor of the passage of the bill will vote yes. All those opposed will vote no. And Mr. Clerk will unlock the machine. Have all members voted? All members voted. If so, Mr. Clerk will lock the machine. On the passage of House Bill 1086, the yeas are 161, the nays are 0. This bill, having received the requisite constitutional majority, is therefore passed. Thank you, members. Members, we have 2 resolutions that remain on the rules calendar, and we're going to postpone them to the next legislative day. That will be House Resolution 1000 and House Resolution 1049 will be postponed to the next legislative day. For what purposes Representative Martin rise?
To make a motion?
State your motion.
I move the rules of the House be temporarily suspended so that the bill may be read for the first time and assigned to committee.
Mr. Clerk will read the caption.
Unnumbered House Bill by Representative Martin of the 49th and others to be entitled an act to amend Part 3 of Article 7 of Chapter 3 of Title 20 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to Georgia Student Finance Authority.
On the gentleman's motion that the rules of this House be temporarily suspended so a bill can be read for the first time and assigned to committee, is there objection? Higher education. For what purposes Representative Matt Reeves rise?
To make a motion.
State your motion.
Mr. Speaker, I move that the rules be temporarily suspended so that a bill may be read for the first time and assigned to committee.
Mr. Clerk will read the caption.
Unnumbered House Bill by Representative Reeves of the 99th and others to be entitled an act to amend Chapter 11 of Title 14 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to limited liability companies.
On the gentleman's motion that the rules of this House be temporarily suspended so a bill can be read for the first time and assigned to committee, is there objection? Judiciary. For what purposes Representative Seabaugh rise?
Make a motion.
State your motion.
Motion that the rules of the House be temporarily suspended so that a bill can be read for the first time and assigned to committee.
Mr. Clerk will read the caption.
Unnumbered House Bill by Representative Seabaugh of the 34th and others to be entitled an act to amend Part 4 of Article 6 of Chapter 3 of Title 12 and Article 1 of Chapter 16 and Title 50 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to the Stone Mountain Memorial Association.
On the gentleman's motion that the rules of this House be temporarily suspended so that that bill can be read for the first time and assigned to committee, is there objection? Game, Fish, and Parks. That completes our work on the rules calendar and motions before the House. We'll move on to afternoon orders. Representative Matt Jackson. Representative Matt Jackson, we'll skip over him for now. Representative Scott. Representative Scott. Representative Davis will stand in. Representative Scott had to. Oh, Representative Schofield. You sent them both home. One of them home. Ladies recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members of the House, on February 23rd, 2020, in Glenn County, Ahmaud Arbery was chased and fatally shot while jogging. We'll never forget Ahmaud. This Monday is Ahmaud Arbery Day, our annual 5K run and walk for some at Lee and White Trailhead in Atlanta. We'll be meeting there at 6 o'clock. Bring your casual clothes and sneakers, lace up, and let's walk and run for Ahmaud. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I yield the well.
Representative Ali, gentleman's recognized for an afternoon order. Gentleman's recognized. Give me your attention, please.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My fellow members of the People's House, this is 15-year-old Olivia on the screen. She's extroverted, helpful, and a natural-born leader. Her hobbies include swimming, art, and being way too good at the game of Uno. And most importantly, she'll be a warm addition to any family who chooses to adopt her. And we can make that happen at itsmyturnnow.dhs.georgia.gov as always. Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker. I yield the well.
Representative Martinez, you have an afternoon order. Representative Ray Martinez is recognized for an afternoon order.
Sandy up here. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I want to take a little time to ask my colleagues to please pray for our good friend, former legislator here, our good friend Melvin Everson. Melvin Everson had a stroke a few months ago, and he is back home recovering. And please keep your prayers with him. I'd like to say that Melvin served this body from as a state rep in Snellville from 2006 to 2011. I'm sorry,
Gentlemen,
2005.
we'll suspend just for a moment. I didn't know about this, and the members don't. You're speaking about a former member of this House. Gentlemen, will proceed.
Melvin Everson served this House from 2005 to 2011, and he is the first African-American mayor in the city of Snellville. So please, please keep your prayers for him as he goes through this long battle. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Good man, Representative Melvin Everson. So thank you, members, colleagues, and close friends of Melvin's. So certainly be in our prayers. Melvin, we wish you the best, and we'll be praying for your recovery. Thanks, Representative Martinez. Representative Mac Jackson. The gentleman is recognized for an afternoon order.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen, I rise today for a Black History moment. Georgia had approximately 242 to 243 Rosenwald schools built for black children, but the number still standing is much smaller, with estimates around 38 to 46 structures remaining as of the early 2000s. Rosenwald schools were built by Booker T. Washington and Julius Rosenwald, who was the president of Sears Roebuck Company. They built schools in black communities because Booker T. Washington believed that education was the way to rise above poverty among the black community. I introduced legislation, House Bill 1394, to include Rosenwald schools in DCA's historic preservation grants.
But gentlemen will suspend. This is pretty important. Rosenwald schools, I'm learning in addition to what I already knew. Let's get some members to pay attention. You're going to have the whole weekend to attend to all this business y'all attending to now.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. You'll see a picture of T.J. Elder School in Sandersville, Georgia, which was built by Julius Rosenwald to educate black children. Our school has been there since 1937 and is still standing. And the legislation that I've introduced will include Rosenwald schools in the DCA grants for historical preservation. This is my Black History moment. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I yield the well.
That's pretty awesome. It's in Sandersville. Rosenwald schools. Got a hearing on Wednesday. Good luck. Let me know what I can do. Thank you, Representative Mac Jackson. That completes our afternoon orders. Mr. Clerk, will you read the caption to a group of privileged resolutions? Mr. Clerk.
Honoring and celebrating the 95th birthday of Mrs. Marthel Powell. Congratulating Mr. Terry Cummings upon his induction as an honorary member of the 100 Black Men of DeKalb County. Congratulating and commending Melissa Walker for receiving the 2026 Yellow Rose Dinky T. Randall Service Leader Award. Recognizing and commending Larry M. Lehman for his lifetime of service and leadership in public health. Recognizing and commending the Greater North Georgia Fulton Chamber of Commerce. Recognizing and commending the 68th Annual Southeast District Conference of the National Association of Negro Business and Professional Women's Clubs Incorporated, and honoring its long-standing commitment to leadership, service, and economic empowerment. Recognizing and commending the Boys and Girls Clubs of Puerto Rico. Recognizing Judge Fina Atten for her distinguished service and judicial leadership. Recognizing February 26, 2026 as Law Enforcement Appreciation Day at the Capitol and commending law enforcement officers in Georgia. Recognizing February 25th, 2026 as Georgia Airports Association Day. Recognizing February 24th, 2026 is HHCP Day at the Capitol. Recognizing and commending Ms. Ashley Rodriguez. Recognizing and commending the contributions of Asian Americans Advanced Justice Atlanta Asian Americans Advocacy Fund, Asian American Voices for Education. Recognizing and commending Aubrey Allen. Recognizing and commending Ariel Hibbert. Recognizing and commending Jasmine Stamper. And for other purposes, that completes the reading of the privileged resolutions.
Is there any objection to adopting the privileged resolutions? Hearing none, the resolutions are adopted. Members, we're moving on to announcements. Representative Vance Smith is recognized for an announcement.
Thank Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen, Monday is a committee day. Remember that. Monday is a committee day. We have a natural resources, the environmental subcommittee that'll be meeting Monday morning at 10 a.m. in room 506. 10 a.m., 506. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Representative Smith. Chairman Chokus, recognized for an announcement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members of the Small Business Development Committee, Tuesday, February 24th, 8 a.m., 506. Hope to see y'all there. Y'all have a good weekend. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Representative Berry. Gentleman's recognized for an announcement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The City of Atlanta will be meeting today at noon in Capitol 230. We will be serving lunch. So City of Atlanta delegation today at noon in Cap 230. Thank you.
Representative Jasmine Clark. Representative Clark, you have an announcement. We'll skip over you and we'll come back. Leader F. Stration, recognized for an announcement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I have two very important announcements. The first is that the Senate right now is expected to take up the budget, supplemental budget, and part of that procedurally as we work toward conference committees is we have to take several procedural steps to get the bill to conference so that the conferees can begin work this weekend. Now, what I know many members would not prefer to do is for us to take a recess for lunch and be delayed this afternoon waiting on the Senate. So the proposal is that we will be in recess for lunch, but members will be free to go with the knowledge and understanding that the only thing that will happen this afternoon is the procedural steps necessary for the Speaker to appoint conferees. That will be it. And then I expect we'll move to adjourn to come back Tuesday at 10 a.m. But if you hear an announcement recessing for lunch and you choose to leave, you can go doing so, knowing that the only thing that will be taken up is the procedural matters around the budget. And I think both to the minority whip and my displeasure about having to stay late and delay our weekend, we will both be here when that takes place this afternoon. And my second announcement, Mr. Speaker, if I may, is on Monday there will be a committee chairman's lunch at noon in room 403 of the state capitol for planning purposes. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'll yield the will.
Chairman Hatchett, you objecting to that?
No, I had a question. I was wondering if I could recess and leave also.
Yeah, for about 30 minutes you can leave. I'd go tend to it and come back. So, the leader eloquently laid out what our posture will be. This is not the first time that, from understanding what I have with the clerk's office, that we will be in this posture. So we'll be asking you if you will give me the authority and grant me the authority to disagree, then you'll be free to go ahead and begin your weekend, and we will only tend to those pieces of business. We will disagree and appoint. So that will be our posture when we get there and ask and put this House in recess. The Senate is actually taking up the budget right now, but y'all know how that, maybe they won't recess before they finish. Let's see what happens. Chairman Hawkins is recognized for an announcement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The Committee on Health will meet on Monday from 2 to 4 in the Capitol 403. Monday 2 to 4. Be there.
Chairman Anderson is recognized for an announcement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. House Governmental Affairs Committee will meet Monday afternoon at 3 o'clock in CLOB 506. Thank you.
Chairman Dickey is recognized for an announcement.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We will have a Agriculture and Consumer Affairs Committee on Monday afternoon, 4 o'clock, 606 CLOB. Be on the lookout for an announcement. Thank you.
Chairman Gunther.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. House Judiciary will meet in room 132 on Monday at 9 a.m. We have a few bills, and I expect we'll have them done before Rules Committee.
Chairman Lumsden recognized for an announcement.
Be a full insurance committee meeting on Tuesday morning at 8 a.m. Tuesday morning, 8 a.m. CLOB 506. Thank you.
Chairman Irwin recognized for an announcement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Education Committee, we will have
Continue.
Education Committee, we will meet as subcommittees on Monday from 1 till 3. So Education Committee, same room at CLOB 506. Thank you.
That completes our announcements. We have a couple of birthdays over the weekend. Chairman Victor Anderson will be celebrating a birthday on Saturday. And Representative David Sampson will be celebrating a birthday on Sunday down in Albany. If you have a page, we want you to come down and get a page photo. So one slight tweak we want to make sure this body is completely informed on the process as we move forward. So when the Senate sends the amended budget back over, we will disagree. It goes back to them. They insist. Then it comes back to us, and we insist and appoint. So I want you to be aware there's one step there that was not in the previous announcement. So that will be our posture. If you want to stay with me, fine. If you want to go home, hit the road, Jack. And we'll be back here to tend to work next week. But that will be this House's posture. Then we will adjourn until Tuesday at 10 a.m. Members, we'll go ahead and let you know who the conferees will be. As is our custom, it will be Chairman Hatchett, of course, since he knows a little bit about this piece of the budget. Pro Tem Jones will be a conferee, and Leader F. Stration will be the three conferees that will be appointed. Those will be the three members of this House that will be appointed as conferees. Okay. Page photos. Stand in recess. This House will stand in recess. This House will stand in recess, and then we will be adjourned after our business of the day is completed with the disagree and the insist. And y'all know who the appointees are. So y'all have a great weekend. Be safe, and we'll see you on Tuesday. But this House will be in recess.